Folks, it's me, Denny Carter from Rotoworld and NBC Sports coming at you for the Week 13 Fantasy Football Q&A on the NFL and NBC YouTube channel. You may have thought that I would have taken the day off, that it's Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. Maybe there's no stream today, but I said no. I said my grind set compels me to continue to have this stream. Also, I like talking. I like talking to you. I like talking at you, with no way for you to push back. So that's mostly what I'm here to do. But yes, I will be answering, as always, your various start-sit questions. I guess no more trade questions since we are in late November. I'm going to wait for the queue to fill up a little bit before I start answering questions. And yes, I am wearing a hat today. I think it's the first time I've worn a hat on the stream because, well, it was a difficult morning getting all the kids' stuff in order and also making the live stream. So we did not have time for the beauty routine. So we just put a hat on. And of course, I am a lifelong Chargers fan who grew up in the suburbs of Maryland. I'm not, but I like the hat and I like the colors. And every time I wear this hat in public, people give me attention and they say, that Herbert, he's looking good. You got to be happy with Harbaugh, huh? I have that conversation every time I go into 7-Eleven or the beer and wine store. Yes, in this part of Maryland, at least, we have a beer and wine store because alcohol is not sold at the grocery store. It is, of course, an impingement on my freedom. But when I go in there, oh man, Jim Harbaugh is on a roll, baby. And I like to play Chargers fan. I do like a bit where I'm like, oh man, like we're in it to win it. Like this isn't your grandfather's Chargers, man. Bolt up. Is that does anyone say that? Is that a thing? Does anyone say bolt up? I feel like us Chargers fans should start saying bolt up. Bolt up. Maybe not. It's hard to say. I did have a lot of positive things to say about Justin Herbert on Tuesday's podcast with Pat Daugherty. Because no one throws a prettier ball, and no one has more drops harm his stat line than Justin Herbert, which is so unfortunate from a fantasy standpoint. I will talk about, his matchup this week against the Falcons, a good one, I think. I think folks should definitely consider starting him in one quarterback leagues. I'm going to take a sip of my extremely hot coffee. I put it in the microwave for too long. It's very weak, but very hot, just the way I like it. So we're going to get into that. Saw a New York Times article today on the conceit of the article was that Black Friday used to be fun. It used to be fun. It is no longer fun. Look, I'm 41. Like I'm very old. Okay. I remember a lot. I've been around. At no point in my life was Black Friday considered fun. At various points in my life, I remember tuning into local news on Black Friday and seeing, oh, hey, only 11 people got trampled today at the Best Buy. Oh, like they only had to call in the cops once at Walmart today. Hey, that's good. That's good. It worked out, for everybody. That is my Black Friday experience. I don't really know when it was fun. I never really participated in it, except for once. I newly married. We needed a TV, like a real TV. We still had one of those, like, I don't even know what you call them, like the TVs with the big backs on them, the box TVs. Like we still had one of those. It was 2008. And so we wanted to go get a big old flat screen TV. And we did. We went to Best Buy like 4 a.m, 5 a.m, something like that. It was awful. Like waiting in a long line. They had these great deals that only lasted until like 8 a.m. or something. And we got a big old TV. And it was, by the way, the Zoomers don't know, those big TVs used to be so heavy. Like the ones today, 2 people could easily lift them. I mean, me and my wife were exhausted trying to carry this thing into our house and down the stairs into the basement, right? That was my one experience. And I remember almost getting into 2, not fights, but arguments, because I kept getting bumped. There was a lot of bumping going on Black Friday in Best Buy. I didn't like it. I didn't appreciate it. There was no reason. Like, it were a lot of people, but it wasn't shoulder to shoulder. You didn't need to do that. You didn't need to bump me, bro. So I hated it. Black Friday's never been fun, New York Times. All right, let's get into your questions. Wow. I talked for a long time, apparently. Patrick is in the chat. Help. He says, McNichols or Braylon Allen in the flex. It's hard to say, man. It's hard. Look, unless, okay, you guys do need to keep me up to date on the news. Looks like Trevor Lawrence expected to play. Kincaid is out. Not seeing anything else breaking at the moment. No, that's it. So I don't know about, Breece Hall is dinged up, has knee soreness. Like, if he doesn't play, then it's Braylon Allen season. Otherwise, I guess you go McNichols, but that depends on Brian Robinson's status. All right. Yo, Den Dog. Hope you're as stuffed as I am. Pause. You Zoomer. Yeah. Well, here's what I ate for Thanksgiving, and I got a lot of flack for it from family and friends. My plate consisted of 3 pieces of ham. I mean, good ham, and some green bean casserole, I should say, and salad, and that was it. And that's all I ate. I don't know. I mean, it filled me up. Isn't that the point of food? To fill you up? Like, once you're full, just stop eating. Oh, well, I shouldn't say that. But I got a lot of grief. Where's your turkey? Where's your mashed potatoes? Where's your stuffing? Where's the corn? Where's the this? Where's that? I don't know, man. I mean, turkey's bad. What do you want? What do you want from me? Turkey's terrible. And I know, look, you just haven't had good turkey. Twitter or Blue Sky or whatever is going to come from my head now. Oh, well, you haven't had the way I make turkey, which is good. Well, I've had a lot of different kinds of turkey, and they're all, as my son would say, mid. So no one gets it. That's just a bit. I'm convinced the whole turkey thing on Thanksgiving is just a bit. People are messing with me with turkey. All right. This person says, am I starting Njoku or TJ Hawkinson? Yeah, I think it'll be another pass-heavy script for the Browns, and Njoku. I think Njoku's locked into 10 targets a week right now, so I would lean in his direction. Amplified to Rock says, as a longtime Miami Dolphins fan, should I stop watching actual football and simply stare at the numbers on my computer screen instead? This is what I recommend to all football fans. Just pull up the spreadsheet and watch some dots dance around on the screen instead of watching the game, and you'll be less heartbroken. Consume football like a robot would. Consume football like those cool synthetic robot people on the Alien movies, right? Every Alien movie has a cool synthetic, right? And I imagine those synthetics watching football the way I do, which is simply stare at numbers as they change. That's the best way to consume it. Not soulless at all. Nicholas, Bo, Nix, or Baker. Yeah, it has to be Baker. I mean, he's playing the Panthers, so can't get better than that. Taylor says, should I start Isaiah Pacheco coming off the broken leg, ankle situation in a good matchup today We love our Black Friday games. Can't live without them, obviously. Can't go one day without NFL action. We love it, folks. It's a good matchup. Raiders are bottom 10 in rush EPA. And, not giving up a ton of big runs, but lots of, successful rushes against the Raiders on a weekly basis. I don't know. I don't know who you're starting Pacheco over, but he's not a bad play. Justine Garcia is in the chat. Have both Pacheco and Hunt. I could play both, but that would mean sitting James Cook. Don't sit James Cook. I wrote him up in this week's Funnel Defense Report, which you can find on rotoworld.com. Published that this morning. James Cook has a sneaky, amazing matchup against San Francisco. The Niners run defense, kind of inviting run heavy scripts. I know the Bills have been definitely pass heavy over the past month or so. So it's no guarantee that they're going to lean on the run, but I think there's a decent chance. And I think it's a 17 touch, maybe even 20 touch game for James Cook. So I would go with Cook, and I would go, I guess, with Pacheco. It's a crapshoot. Like, Kareem Hunt's been real bad, but that doesn't really matter. Like, if a running back is bad, that doesn't matter. But Pacheco was held out last week, so I'm thinking that he's probably fully healthy. I guess I'd lean in his direction. All right, Brock Purdy or Herbert. Purdy has the shoulder, big underdog, doesn't really play well in negative game script. So the thing you need to remember about the Falcons defense is that they put zero pressure on the passer. And we saw this 2 weeks ago against Bo Nix in Denver, right? Where Nix just sat in a clean pocket pretty much the entire game. I covered that one for Rotoworld, and that was like the defining feature of the game was like, Bo Nix, he's doing 7-on-7s in training camp right now. And I think you give Herbert that sort of opportunity, that sort of time to operate, he's gonna light it up. As missing J.K. Dobbins, the Chargers have been top 6 in pass rate over expected since week 7. I'm trying to remember these numbers off the top of my head. Forgive me if I got them a little wrong, but something in that range, right? I like Herbert a lot, and not just because I'm a lifelong Chargers fan. All right, Christopher, you might find the following question disturbing. I sense a too cute question. I sense a question that will exceed our limits of cuteness in this chat. Viewer discretion is advised. Half-point PPR. Pick one. Braylon Allen, Justice Hill, Cam Akers, Sincere McCormick, and that's gross. Christopher, you're right. This is disgusting. I do love it though. Antonio Pierce, of course, head coach of the Raiders, said that it is Sincere McCormick season. McCormick is clearly better than every other running back on the Raiders. That doesn't mean a whole lot as far as playing time goes. I think he's out of the. Look, Braylon Allen would be the easy play if we knew Breece Hall's status. I guess I can look that up on rotoworld.com and check it out. He resumed practice on Thursday. So, yeah, you guys, you need to put that out of your head now. If Breece plays, it's completely over for Braylon Allen. He totally phased out of this Jets offense. So, that's no good. So, he's out. McCormick's out. I guess it's McNichols if Brian Robinson misses. And if not, it's Justice Hill season. There you go. I hope that helped. Timothy wants to know, start James Conner or Travis Etienne. Yeah, they're not good matchups, but it's got to be Conner. It just has to be. Raider Nation tells me to take that hat off. I will never take that hat off. I love my Chargers, okay? I always have since I bought this hat in 2021. I'm a lifelong Chargers fan since 2021. 10-team PPR. Let's see, half PPR. Sit one between Ramondre, Jacoby Myers, and Calvin Q Ridley the fifth. I guess you sit Myers because Aiden O'Connell is just abominable. I don't even there's almost no chance he finishes the game against Kansas City. They're gonna wreck that guy. He makes Gardner Minshew look like, I don't know, Steve Young. I mean, like older Steve Young, but still Steve Young. So I guess I'm just fading Myers there. Godspeed. Anil says he's down bad in half PPR. Need a tight end. Schultz is out. Fant is probably going to play. Chigo Okonkwo. So Dawson Knox is not available, I guess. That's what I'm gathering here. Because Dawson Knox would be preferable to all these guys. Dawson Knox, 2 weeks ago when the Bills last played, led the team in pass routes, caught 4 of 6 for 40. That's a really solid tight end profile. The process with Dawson Knox. He's also better than Dalton Schultz. So there's that. So look, Jatavian Sanders, the pretty exciting rookie tight end for Carolina, suffered a scary neck injury last week. I doubt he plays. That makes me lean toward Tommy Tremble here. Tommy Tremble's only commanded a target on 11% of his routes this year. So kind of know what you're getting. I did write up the seemingly rejuvenated Panthers passing attack. Can't believe I said that, but it's true. In the Funnel Defense report, because a week after really showing something against Kansas City, whose secondary is not that great, actually. I mean, they're snuffing out run games, but they can be had in the secondary. But now they get one of the worst secondaries in Tampa. So you're probably going to see me lean toward Panthers pass catchers for better or for worse. Luis Martinez in the chat. Kicker question. We love our kicker questions, don't we, folks? Matt Wright or Zane Gonzalez? So Zane Gonzalez is kicking for Washington this week because Austin Siebert is apparently injured after missing that extra point last week. I don't blame you, Austin. I'd be injured too. And then Matthew Wright is playing for the Chiefs because what's his name? Striker, Shane Schrader. Schrader, who is subbing in for Harrison Butker, is out against Vegas. So Matthew Wright is kicking for the Chiefs. All right, now that we have that settled, I would go with Zane Gonzalez. I think the Chiefs are going to pour it on against the Raiders. Ezra in the chat, need to start one for flex purposes. Jacoby Myers, Pollard, Shakir, or Warren. Those are pretty good options. Congratulations. Must be nice to have viable flex options. I'm in a lot of 14-team leagues. So I never, I'm just forced to start guys, there's very little, thinking about who I'm going to play because it's will this guy be in the game? If yes, then play. That's how 14-teamers work. Let me look up, wait, who did you say? Pollard. So I wanted to look up Tajay Spears to make sure I didn't miss anything there. So he practiced in full on Thursday. So Pollard has the shine taken off of him a little bit. But I'd still probably go with Pollard. It's a good matchup. Well, let's get into the nerdy metrics real quick because this funnels nicely into that. So every week I tell you about yards before contact per rush. It's an important metric closely correlated with rushing production and big runs. Something I look at every week and something I try to share with the folks on this stream. And the reason I said it mixes nicely with this question about Tony Pollard is because he's playing a Commanders defense, allowing the league's highest rush yards before contact per attempt at 2.38. And it's been pretty much that high all season, or at least for the last like 6 or 8 weeks. So it's not a fluke. It's a feature of this team. We saw Rico Dowdle get there last week against the Commanders. So I like Pollard. Second in this category, the Bears. We kind of saw. Yeah, I mean the Lions had success on the ground yesterday. The Bills actually give up the third highest rate of yards before contact per rush. So maybe Christian McCaffrey is not completely disastrous for one season or for 1 week. Dallas is fourth. The Rams are fifth here. I think that shapes up really well, for a Saints team that wants to be run first. And so it's a good spot for Kamara. And I'm sorry to the haters. The haters are going to have another tough week, I'm afraid. But Taysom Hill is in for another 10 to 12 touches, maybe some high-value touches inside the 10. And he's an elite tight end option. And he's playing a Rams rush defense that can be destroyed on the ground. It's gonna be a tough week for the Taysom haters. It's so funny, by the way, to see Saints beat writers ask the coaches like, and not ask like plead with the coaches like, enough. We're done with the Taysom stuff, right? This can't go on. This is wrong. It doesn't feel right. And the Rizzler, Darren Rizzi, the interim head coach for New Orleans, said we're gonna use Taysom even harder. You want less Taysom? We're gonna give you more Taysom. So it's completely over for Taysom haters. It's very tough to watch, honestly. The Saints give up the sixth highest rate of yards before contact per rush. That should be good for Kyren Williams, who is deeply inefficient as a rusher, as we have discovered. The Panthers are seventh, so great spot for Bucky Irving, and to a lesser extent, Rashad White, and to an even lesser extent, Sean Tucker. Seahawks are eighth in this category. Anyway, it's a good matchup for the Jets running backs. And the Browns are ninth, give it the ninth highest rate of rush yards before contact per attempt. That is probably good for somebody in the Denver backfield. I don't know who. Whomst. Go to the bottom of the list here. Denver gives up the lowest rate of rush yards before contact per attempt. So horrific spot for Nick Chubb. Look, Nick Chubb got away with it last week. He fell into the end zone twice. I'm happy for him. You're happy for him. Everybody's happy for Nick Chubb, the hardest working man in football. It's never going to happen again. You can't play him this week. In 12-team leagues, you just got to find a way not to play Nick Chubb. Terrible matchup. Chiefs give up the second lowest rate, yards before contact per attempt. Raiders running backs are off the board pretty much. Vikings third here, so obviously bad spot for James Conner. Texans fourth, horrific spot for Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne. The Ravens are fifth best here, but who cares? Who cares, right? Saquon Barkley. He's never scored less than 30 fantasy points in a game, and I'm fine with it. You're asking, am I mad? Am I upset that Saquon Barkley never scores under 30 fantasy points? I actually am upset. I don't know if you could tell. I'm upset because I don't have Saquon Barkley anywhere. I intentionally and vigorously faded him in drafts and best ball and everything. And I have paid the price dearly, along with every other nerd in the continental United States and elsewhere. So who cares? Every matchup's a good matchup when you're Saquon. Am I right? I hate it. All right. Let's get some of your questions here. Sterling G. Dudley, the fourth. PPR pick 3. Chuba Hubbard, Chase Brown, Derrick Henry. Why are you putting Derrick Henry in here, man? What, the guy has one down game and you're like, well, should I start him? Come on. You're starting Derrick Henry. This is why they call me an expert, by the way. When you go to fantasy football expert school, they do things like, should I start Derrick Henry? And you sit there at your desk with the other football experts and you go, yes, you should. You should start the generational running back. You should start maybe the greatest running back of all time, besides Jamal Charles, of course. That's how you do it. If just for the folks coming up in the industry, I'm just offering some advice. So I would start Chase Brown, Henry, and Breece Hall. That was easy. Jerry in the chat, need 2 running backs and a flex PPR. Chase Brown, Breece Hall, Irving, and Pacheco. 2 running back. Yeah, so you're benching Pacheco. I mean that's great. Brown, Hall, and Irving, great little trio there. All right. You're still trading? Trade Justin Jefferson for Wilson. Excuse me, Wilson Watson, Christian Watson, and Jameson. No, just because. No, don't do that. Wait, I mean, unless are you getting whoever's getting Jefferson wins this trade by a landslide. Man, again, one bad game and everybody's ready to pull the plug on Justin Jefferson. We have a kicker question here. Cris Bosworth, we call him the Boz on this stream, the Boz, or McLaughlin. I mean, they're both in great spots. Because again, just to remind folks, we want kickers who are going to benefit from neutral and positive game script, right? And be in position to kick field goals throughout the game. We don't want their teams foregoing field goal opportunities late to chase touchdowns. So both of those guys should be in good position here. I'm not benching Bosworth because Mike Tomlin loves a field goal, man. This guy lives for it. This guy lives for kicking a field goal on 4th and inches from the 5-yard line. Just can't get enough. Well, if we didn't score on 3rd down, we don't deserve to score. And he gets away with it. He's never not gotten away with it. He's an enemy of analytics who destroys analytics every week and has never lost. And I'm triggered. So you're going with the Boz. With Dobbins out, you have to pivot to Warren or Kamani Vidal. I mean, it has to be Jalen Warren. MHJ or Myers. I would go with MHJ there. Herbert does throw a pretty bow. Yes. JSN, DK Metcalf, or Taysom Hill. Oh, why are you doing this to me, Mr. Magic? Don't make me do it. Full PPR. Oh, man, you're testing my mettle. I actually don't even believe that this is a situation you're facing. I'm guessing you want to see how far I'm going to go with this Taysom bit. You know, I bet you this is secretly Rotopat being like, I'm going to get him. I'm going to make him say Taysom over DK Metcalf and JSN. I'm not going to do it. I'm not falling for it, Pat. Oh, go with JSN. Is starting Pacheco safe? West Lapierre wants to know. No, it's actually not safe at all. You probably should try not to do that. I mean, you know, not a bad play, but whatever. Why do the Bears hurt us so? Said Germs the Germ. Man, you just they had to start. They had to start over again. Honestly. Let's see. Still, this person said, Joshua says, still trying to decide if I should roll with Pacheco or Hubbard this week. Standard league, please help. Hubbard. Oh man, so many Pacheco questions. Look, I just want to be clear. I don't have insider information. Like, I'm not like on the phone with the Chiefs training staff being like give me the lowdown on Pacheco's injury, how he's going to be used. I also don't say lowdown. So, I'd feel more comfortable with Jaylen Warren. That's what I'd say. All right, Lindorphins is in the chat. Happy Friday. It's Friday once again, as David Lynch might say. Who do you like as a flex this weekend, Najee or Judy at Denver? Oh, it's a revenge spot for Jerry Jeudy. Where's the media on that? I don't see CNN covering that. I bet you MSNBC has. I had not seen it though. Anyway, I think Jeudy. Look, Jameis Winston said Judy's my guy. So go ahead, go roll with Jerry Jeudy. Alpha wants to know, he's projected to lose by 12. Who is the boom, Kyler or Nix? It's a terrible spot for Kyler. I think it's Nix. All right. Black Friday is ridiculous. This person says, I can't participate. I feel like we are being broadcasted to people who are laughing. Well. Taylor Reynolds. Taylor Reynolds didn't like my opening monologue. Start Pacheco or Connor. I'd go with Connor. Christopher says, I like the hat, but it's too tall. I mean, I'm not. What do you want me to do? Pull it down? You're like a relief pitcher? Like I don't want you to see my eyes. I'm not going to pull it down. I mean, I have a big old head. I don't know what you want. Okay, so someone says, I don't even know what channel this is. I just woke up and all of a sudden they're on my TV. Well, good morning, sir. Den Dog, thanks for all the help this season. You're welcome. You're the man. You're the man now, dog. Sean Connery, Finding Forrester. All right. JSN, Brian Thomas, Jawan Jennings. Pick one for the flex. I'd go with JSN. Taylor Reynolds wants to know where Matthew Berry is. Well, Matthew Berry's not on this stream, is what I would say. I don't know exactly where Matthew Berry is at the moment. I believe he's probably enjoying time with his family, enjoying time off. But he's never joined me on the stream. I don't even know where he would sit. I don't know. So we'll look powerfully into where Matthew Berry is. And Taylor Reynolds wants to be banned, apparently. Turkey is terrible. True. All right, let's get to some of your questions. Let's see. I have Ridley, Lad McConkey, and Marv. I need to start 2 in 10-team PPR. I actually would start Ridley and Lad. Ridley is leading the NFL in air yards. And I know you can't feed air yards to your children. They cry. They say their stomachs are empty and they need actual yards. And you say, I grew up on air yards, so will you. But it's significant. I mean, he's dominating air yards and targets in this Tennessee offense. I think they'll probably, they're playing Washington, run funnel. Anyway, you're playing Ridley. Lad McConkey could cook this week against the Falcons. So I like both those guys over Marvin Mid Harrison Jr. Burrow or Mahomes? I'd go Burrow. It's tempting. It's tempting, but I'd go Burrow. Gus Edwards or Kareem Hunt in full PPR. That's a tough one. I'm a Chargers fan, so I'm going to try to look at this objectively. I'm again lifelong Chargers fan since 2021. It's hard I love Gus Edwards. I've loved him for years as a Charger. Okay, one of the greatest Chargers of all time. When you say Gus Edwards, what do you think of? One of the greatest. It's him and LaDainian Tomlinson, right? Bang, bang, bang. I don't know. I don't even know. It might be Gus and then LT. I mean, just as a Chargers fan, I'm just sharing with you the common belief among Chargers faithful. All right, that's enough of that. I go with. I'd go with Hunt. I would go with Hunt. I mean, Gus is just going to be super touchdown reliant, but I guess Hunt is too. They're the same guy. Forget it. They're the same guy. Play who you want. I'd go with Hunt. Let's see if Brees doesn't go. No, he will. I'm sorry. But can I reasonably start ETN or over Javante? Yeah, I think so. Are the Cowboys starting to improve since they defeated the Giants and Commanders? I mean, probably. I mean, look, it's great for Dowdle. That's what I'd say. The Dallas defense being able to show some sort of backbone over the past couple weeks is really good for Dowdle because at the same time, he's taken the reins of the Dallas backfield, right? He's saying a big chunk of the carries. He's running a decent number of routes, enough to keep him alive for PPR purposes. And, the problem is that runaway game script destroyed Dowdle's prospects week in and week out. So if this Dallas defense is actually able to play reasonably well, not elite levels, but okay enough to keep the game in neutral territory, or God forbid positive script for the Cowboys, then I think Dowdle becomes, I mean, I'm trying not to overstate it, but a very important player in fantasy over the final 4 weeks of the season. By the way, Tom Brady said during the Cowboys game, he said he referred to this as mid-season. He said, now that we're at mid-season, so-and-so and so-and-so. I did the math, looked into it strongly, called some people within NFL circles. It's not mid-season. It'll be December in about 15 minutes. And the regular season ends in 4 weeks. So not mid-season, I would say end of season is what I would tell old Tommy. Anyway, Cowboys are looking much better. Which tight end should Bryant start? Otten, Hawk, or Njoku? That's tough. Man, that's tough. I guess Njoku. Oh, was Eberflus fired? Oh man. Let me see here. Nevertheless, I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh. It's not funny, but I mean, the way he managed that game. Look, getting a glow up can only take a coach so far. And Matt Eberflus looked cool as hell. Remember in the offseason when they would show him at Chicago Bulls games or whatever? And he was wearing a leather jacket and a really cool, expensive t-shirt. And he got his hair cut in a cool way. And his facial hair was really nice and cool. He got a makeover but that can only take you so far. Yes, that can help you keep your job because it's how can we fire the cool guy? I mean, look at this guy. This guy looks hot now. It's very weird to see, but it happened. But a glow up can only take you so far, and so they had no choice. They had no choice, and Eberflus probably walked into the office with his coolest leather jacket on, say maybe some leather pants, maybe some cool boots, and sunglasses, and he was like, "What's up?" And they're like, "Yeah, you're done." He said, "But look at me, man. Look, before you do it, before you make this public, look at me. I'm cool as hell. I got another glow up. Look at this facial hair. It's just, laser precision facial hair." And they said no. The Bears said no. I'm sorry. This time, looking cool is not going to help you. Well, all right. We have Trevor Lawrence or Bo Nix. I would go with Bo Nix easily. People that hate on Taysom Hill just don't have him on his. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it. You don't have him on your team. He's a cheat code at tight end. And I actually had to explain this to my dad. I kept calling Taysom Hill a tight end, and my dad doesn't play fantasy or anything. And he goes, but he's a quarterback. I said, well, technically he's a tight end. And he said no. He said no, he's not. And I think he is in agreement with many old stodgy fantasy players who said no, he's not a tight end. I mean, look, he ran 20 routes or something last time. So does a quarterback run 20 routes in the game? I don't think so. I've never seen it. All right. So he's a tight end. Bo, Nix, or Herbert. I actually would lean Herbert there. Marshall says, do I have any recourse against all of these fantasy experts who told me I couldn't take Barkley in the first round because he will lose touchdowns playing along with a running quarterback? Yeah, I mean, just to be real with you guys for a second, I'm going to strip away the edifice here and tell you that I believed that the Philadelphia offense was not conducive to fantasy points for the lead running back, whoever it was. Mostly because Jalen Hurts takes away rushing opportunities. Importantly, the tush push at the goal line. So every time they get within 2 or 3 yards of the goal line, it's a Jalen Hurts touchdown. That dings a running back. Like we saw that hurt DeAndre Swift. We saw it hurt I think Miles Sanders one year, Kenny Gainwell when he got a spot start here and there, right? So why wouldn't that apply to Saquon Barkley? Well, looks like Saquon is better than those guys. And you put an elite back behind an elite offensive line and good things tend to happen. So we just have to remember that for 2025 when, of course, I will fade Saquon Barkley like no one has ever faded a player in their lives. Stafford or Richardson? Oh, do you have any recourse? This person asked. You can file a lawsuit in with that judge in northern Texas. He's looking strongly into this. Stacked or Richardson? I don't know who Stacked is. Oh, Stafford or Richardson? I would go with Richardson because he's rushing more. Merry Christmas, Larry says. Not sure why. Okay. Well, you are worthy of me, Patrick Ruse. Terry McLaurin or Jacoby Myers. I mentioned Terry McLaurin in the final defense report because I think that the Commanders are likely to lean toward the pass here. And that should be great for both Zach Ertz and Terry McLaurin. So go with McLaurin over Jacoby Myers pretty easily. Let's see. Chubb or Thomas. You got to be more specific, man. Is it Brian Thomas? I guess Brian Thomas over Harrison Jr. or Devontae and flex. I don't know, man. I'd go with Devontae and Harrison. The thoughts on the KC backfield today. I will say just quickly, this shapes up as another pass heavy game for the Chiefs. If I could just tell you a little bit about this situation. So Kansas City over the past 3 games against the Broncos, 12% over their expected dropback rate. Against the Bills, 2% over, and then against the Panthers, 12% over their expected dropback rate. So they're becoming more pass heavy, creating fewer opportunities for the running backs, and the Raiders profile as the league's 3rd most extreme pass funnel, meaning teams tend to attack them through the air. So I think there could be limited rushing opportunities for Hunt and Pacheco against Vegas. It comes down to who's going to score the touchdown, if there is one to be had from the backfield. And it comes down to who's going to be running the routes, which I would guess would be Pacheco. I think that's why I'm leaning Pacheco over Hunt, because Hunt is probably not going to be out there doing the pass game stuff, and that's going to matter a lot here. I could see the Chiefs going pretty pass heavy again. Denissimo Bellissimo, that's my full name. Weekly conundrum between London, Brian Thomas, and Metcalf. I think you go London. I like the fantasy environment of Chargers Falcons seems good. So I would lean. I would definitely lean London there. I wanted to mention just a couple things about game totals. I sometimes like to talk about this. I should talk about it more probably. So we've seen a few game totals rise this week, including Eagles Ravens has gone from 46.5 points to 50.5 points in Vegas. That's the highest of the week. We have the Bengals Steelers going from 44.5, which is kind of a modest total, to 47.5, which is slightly less modest. Saints Rams has gone from 46.5 to 49.5, one of the highest of the week. I'm just talking about general fantasy environments here, okay? Panthers Tampa has gone from 44 to 46.5, and then on the other side of the spectrum here, Seahawks Jets has dropped significantly from 46.5 to 42. That's an ugly environment for sure. Jaguars Texans has dropped by 3.5 points, and Bills Niners has dropped by 3 all the way down to 44. So just FYI. All right, Ezra is in the chat. Should my dad start Burrow or Cousins this week? Tell Father Nelson to start Joe Burrow, the hottest quarterback in the league. Good looking, but also playing really well in the pass heaviest scheme in the NFL. So yes, you play Burrow. Let's see. PPR bonus scoring league. I got 28 points from Jonnu Smith. That's awesome. Should I trust Juwan Jennings, JSN, or Kate Otten? I guess JSN, but he's in that. He's kind of back into that boring role that we saw a couple weeks ago. Elijah Moore or Kayshon Boutte. I'm in good shape. Just a couple wide receiver injuries. It kind of depends. On Cedric Tillman, it's sort of Cedric Tillman. He did not practice on Thursday. He's still in the NFL's concussion protocol. He suffered a brain injury last Thursday. I would guess that Tillman is out for Monday night against Denver. That really makes Elijah Moore a solid, if unspectacular, play. I think Moore should probably be a top 36 option if Cedric Tillman is out. So I definitely would go with him over Kayshon Boutte. Let's see. Is Taysom Hill a must-play tight end rest of season? I was playing Kincaid and Ertz, things of that nature. You guys always make me laugh using my own jokes. You know how to get me. It's Taysom, man. I talked about it earlier. If you want to check it out, what other tight end is seeing 10 touches a game? What other tight end is getting direct snaps inside the 5-yard line? One of these days, he's going to punch one in. You don't know. You don't even know yet. It's going to happen. I don't know, this week, next week, 8 years from now, when he's 42 years old, it's going to happen. But Taysom is way, way better play than freaking Kincaid and Ertz. Sorry, excuse my language, by the way. Sorry to the kids. Yeah. Enough with the Pacheco questions. I agree. Please, leave me alone. I have a family. Stop asking me about Pacheco. I don't own a crystal ball. You're right. Yeah, this is good. Now, start Kyler Murray or Darnold. Oof, I'd lean Murray. Dina is in the chat. Taysom Hill or Kate Otten. Taysom season. It can't be stopped. The Taysom package is growing all the time. Ezekiel is in the chat. Being the diehard Chargers fan, I am. Thank you. Would I start Gus Edwards over Kareem Hunt? I mean, like I said, it's the same deal. I'd lean Hunt. Patrick Mahomes or Justin Herbert. Mahomes is in a good spot. He needed 53 dropbacks to throw for 280 yards last week against the Panthers of all teams. So he's still mid Holmes. This is what the Zoomers are saying, mid Holmes. I personally, I think it's rude. I think it needs to be banned on social media. This use of mid Holmes. Not good. Never been good. Tyreek Hill merchant. This is insulting. Okay. Yeah, it's Herbert easily. Chris Sales. Hi, Chris, in the chat. Hi. Yes, I got my 100 free crabs for Thanksgiving, as I mentioned last week. That's what Maryland residents get for Thanksgiving from the Maryland state government. Thank you to Governor Wes Moore for delivering my Thanksgiving crabs to my home bright and early on Thanksgiving morning. Tight end question from Chris. Noah Gray or Will Dissly? So Gray's still only running like half the routes in the Kansas City offense. I know 4 touchdowns over the past 2 weeks. If he catches 2 more touchdowns this week, I will literally need to leave the country. Wish me luck. I would go with Will Dissly pretty easily here. All right. Brian Robinson, Mooney, or Jennings. I mean, it depends. I like Mooney. I mean, I like that environment of Falcons Chargers a lot. So I would lean Mooney. Mike Evans or Terry McLaurin. I mean, Evans could just rock the Panthers. Like, that's a terrible secondary. So go with Mike Evans. Chris Sales back in the chat. Wide receiver question, Jennings or Mooney? I would go Mooney. But you're leaning Jennings. Do what your heart says to do. Okay? I'm not going to doubt your big heart, Chris. Okay? You follow it to the ends of the earth. And if that means playing Jawan Jennings over Darnell Mooney, so be it. See, I can't be wrong this way. Mr. Taters. So start 2 in PPR. Pollard, Higgins, Mooney. Happy belated Thanksgiving. Same to you. Pollard's in a good spot. So I'd go with him. And I guess I'd go Higgins. I mean, the Bengals have no choice but to air it out here. So go with Higgins. Gary, Ladd or McLaurin? That is a tough one. Tough. Ladd. I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna stick with my Chargers. Love my Chargers. Happy holidays to you too, Ian. Yes, happy Friday. Let's see. We have 6 minutes left. Jacoby or MVS? I mean, MVS has only drawn a target on like 11% of his routes over 3 games with the Saints. So you know what you're getting. I guess I go Jacoby. Kyler or Drake May. Where did I just saw that? Oh, Ian, Kyler or Drake May. I would go with Kyler there. Full PPR, Hopkins against the Raiders or Tank Dell, or wait and see with Devontae Smith. I think Devontae's going to play. Hopkins is very touchdown reliant because he's only running around on like 50 or 60% of the Chiefs dropbacks. And I don't know, are they saving him for the playoffs? Does he still have that knee issue that he had in the summer? It's hard to say. Again, if the Chiefs training staff wants to call me or text me at any point, I would go with it. I think I'd answer, is what I'm saying. But I'd go with Devontae, I guess. Jacoby or MHJ or MBS, I'd go with MH to the J. Njoku or Leggett, mashed potatoes or mac and cheese. I'd go with Njoku, and I would I'd lean mashed potatoes. It depends on if the mac and cheese has too much cheese, it's gross. Okay, I mean cheese is bad, right? So we all know that. So I lean potatoes. I have all the backup running backs. Is Jonathan Brooks better to have? No, man. Jonathan Brooks is a figment of your imagination. Like that ain't happening. So just forget about him. Hawkinson or Noah Gray. I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh. That's mean. That was mean of me. That was mean. I'm sorry. Go with Hawkinson. Let's see. Patrick says, who do I have? Rashad White or Gus the Bus Edwards? Standard scoring. Oh, this is terrible because it's like even if Rashad White's involved in the pass game, it doesn't matter in standard. I guess go Gus. Go my Gus. My Gus. Adam says, should I go with David Moore over Debo? Wow, we have reached the point in the fantasy season where we are asking, do I play David Moore, a 7-year journeyman receiver who's been on every practice squad in America, who had 10 targets last week and a touchdown against the Chiefs? He plays for the Panthers, by the way, just so folks know. Do I play him over Debo, who we drafted in the 2nd or 3rd round of 12-team leagues? Wow. It's not the worst question. That's the thing. It's awfully depressing, and it's a, life comes at you awfully fast kind of question. But is Debo better than David Moore? Who's to say? You have Keon Coleman, but he's going to play. I don't know, man. I guess you got to go because I don't know. Like with David Moore, like it's him and Leggett as in 2 wide receiver sets. At least it was last week. But that could change. That could change, especially if Jalen Coker is active this week. Then Moore's situation just goes to hell. So I can't say. I cannot say Moore over Debo. I want to desperately, but I can't. All right. Burrow or Cousins? I'd go with Burrow. Brian Robinson or Pacheco? I would go with Robinson. Would I start Taysom Hill over Kate Otten? I would, because again, it's Taysom season. Start Worthy today or wait to see if Devontae Smith plays or only pivot to Keon Coleman. I just spit. Sorry. I go with Devontae Smith. Mainstream media is covering this. Shout out to the mainstream media, by the way. Hopkins or Pittman. I'd go with Hopkins for this week. And thanks for ignoring my question twice. Wow, Sebastian, I didn't see your question. I'm sorry, man. They come in. I got you. Relax. Which 2 receivers would I prefer for week 13 of these 5? Mooney, Jennings, Pittman, Westbrook, Akine, and Valdez-Scantling. You couldn't find more names among receivers. This is not a PPR league. You're starting. Look, Pittman's a good play because Downs is out. Jennings is a good play, and Mooney's a good play. Which 2 receivers? Oh, okay. So 2. You're going Mooney and Jennings. There you go. I'm not ignoring you, man. You think I had the capacity to ignore people right now? I'm just like desperately trying to get through these questions. Ezra, I've answered your question, man. Will Disley or Hunter Henry? Hunter Henry's a good play, but I would go with Disley. All right, one more. 2 more actually. Vincent wants to know rest of season Ridley or MHJ. It's easily Ridley, and Brian Palmer. Yes, I'm from the dark web. Hawkinson or Otten. I go with Hawk, I guess, and then MHJ Myers or MVS. I would go Myers if Minshew was starting. He is not done for the season. So go with Harrison. All right, folks, that'll do it for me, Denny Carter. You can find all my work on rotoworld.com, including the funnel defense report, which I recommend you check out post haste. Good luck to you and only you in week 13.